here with me today, I'm delighted to have Douglas Murray, the Director of the Centre for Social Cohesion, who has kindly agreed to play the Richard Nixon to my David Frost. So he gets to be a reliable conservative, I get to be a zero-loving apologist for we're going to speak for about 20 minutes, and then we'll open this up to the floor. Do please let us know if you want to ask a question, don't be shy. I will set out my position first, and Douglas and I will then have a to and fro. My position on this issue is this, that this is an issue that in the time since September 11, 2001 has divided thinking on the right side of politics. But, of course, it's a much older issue than that. Must all the laws but one go unacknowledged, lest this one be breached, is what Abraham Lincoln asked a special session of Congress convened in 1861 when his country was under threat. I accept that this is A, not a novel issue, and B, it's one that other generations have grappled with in the past and reached much the same conclusions. That is to say that we are a state under the law, but first of all, we are a state. We are first of all a nation, before we are a nation under the law. I accept that there are times when civil liberties must be contained. But, and I think this is probably where the division comes with Douglas and I feel that we've gone far too far in the swinging of that pendulum, particularly in the time since 9/11. It's my firm view that once powers are assumed by the state, it is extremely difficult ever to take them back. It is my firm view that these powers are very seductive to the servants of the state, and that once they have them, they enjoy the use of them. And furthermore, it's very much my firm view that each and every one of the steps being taken in our society today, so the accumulation of more power to bureaucrats, the explosion of CCTV coverage, DNA databases and information databases spread across our society, and access is becoming ever easier. All of those things are born of good intention. You can see why someone wants to do them, but in each and every one of those examples, they have been massively overused. We are in this country now without any sense of proportion or any sense of proper response to what, to my mind, is a much lesser threat than the threat of this country faced, for example, during the Second World War. And that we have sacrificed powers immensely more significant than was contemplated then, and for a longer period of time, in the face of a much smaller threat. So I suppose, first of all, Douglas, what do you think about that?
Half right. Right, well, from the start, I should say, I mean, it's very nice to be here and have an opportunity to discuss this issue. I don't often get to talk about civil liberties, I have to say. It's not because I don't believe in them, I do. But I tend to find that there are enough people who argue that, and I tend to sort of find rather like progressives, so-called self-designated progressives. There are enough people who say they're for civil liberties around. You find very few people who say, I'm entirely opposed to civil liberties, or just like you don't need regressives. The thing, there's a huge lobby in this country now. A huge lobby comes to the press as well, which is very keen on this idea. I'm not, as I say, I'm keen on it myself, but it has to be balanced with the following, which is that civil liberties work in all sorts of ways in free and democratic societies when they face minimal threat, or at least a threat with aims which could be accumulated into democratic discussion itself. What do you do against an enemy which I think is very real, and I think less able to be compared with, say, the Second World War than, say, the threat of communism? It's a rather more potent and obvious one. The threat of Islamist fundamentalism is far more easily compared to communism for the following reasons. First of all, it's an ideology which takes over, has taken over whole nation states. Second, it has people in Western democratic states who would abuse powers that are already in place to then revoke those powers once they get in place. What do you do in the face of an enemy like this? What do you do in the face of an enemy which, for instance, just to give you one potent example, on the 21st of July 2005, 2 weeks after the 7/7 bombing, one of the young jihadis who got on the underground in London to replicate that attack 2 weeks on. Went on, we know from the trial that when he primed his rucksack, he turned his back to a mother and a child in the buggy. Before going on to meet his 72 virgins, or 172-year-old virgins, I hope to discover, he was hoping that he would kill people for the crime of going on the London Underground. Now, that young man had all the benefits of the state that we had the benefits of, and was going to ride roughshod over every right we enjoy, primarily the right to life. What did that young man do when he was holed up in a flat 24 hours later? This young man was found in a flat. He came out, he had stripped to his underwear to make sure he wasn't wearing a suicide vest then. And the footage which we have of him coming out of this flat, he has his arms in the air, and what's he shouting? I know my rights. It seems to me to be the sort of epitome of the society we've created.